Good afternoon, Paul. Pleasure to see you again. We are at the School of Management at Mahindra University in the northern part of Hyderabad in a place called Bahadurpalli.
Tell me a little bit about what inspired you to pursue a career in academia first.
So basically I was working as a consultant. I had worked for 6 years as a manager in a manufacturing company, and then I was working as a consultant, and I started teaching part-time. And I realized that I wanted to do more teaching and less consulting.
Okay.
And that's when I decided to become an academic.
Nice. What do you like doing in your free time?
So I used to practice sports. I played cricket, tennis, squash. Nowadays, my body doesn't take those kinds of rigors anymore. So I watch sports quite a bit. I read, I go for long walks, I play bridge, and I watch serials on television.
Oh wow. I can see a very colorful ground right outside. If we can move around from here and go to some of the places that you can show and show our audience also how this particular institute and university looks. Do you feel like getting in here and do some exercise here as well sometime?
Sure. So this is a 400-meter racing track around the field.
Right.
And so you can do a slow jog. Unfortunately, I can't run very fast nowadays.
Right.
But you can do a brisk walk. The students can play a game of soccer, or football as they call it in Europe. You can play hockey. We can set this up for a cricket match also.
Right.
Because the dimensions are large enough for that to happen.
How important do you think it becomes for students to, have these kind of experiences on
I think it is
basis?
critical, right? Nowadays, there is so much emphasis on physical wellness that students almost demand it. So they want good quality gyms, they want a full-fledged field where they can practice team sports. They want tennis courts like the ones you have here. We also have indoor badminton courts here.
Right.
You'll see that. 3 indoor badminton courts. So I think nowadays this is a hygiene factor. And it's a good thing, right? Because our youth are much more conscious of fitness than we were when we were their age.
So I think this is what you get when you actually talk to the dean. We are right now at the turf that we were talking about from your cabin. Different people probably come in here, right? Different festivals, different kind of diverse attitudes and cultures that comes here, and it's a culmination of it. So tell me a little bit about that in this particular university. How is that here?
Okay. So of course, we attract students from all over the country, and our desire is to get more and more representation from the other states of India, and maybe we have special scholarships for students from the Northeast, for students from Jammu and Kashmir. And we have also started information sessions in the Middle East, and we'll be starting information sessions in Africa. So, and I think you know already, Paul, that in the MBA program, 44% of our students are female students. So I've been in business schools for a long time.
Right.
And that's a very, very high percentage. So most international MBA programs, even the most reputed ones, have a lower than 30% representation of females in their student body. So we are actually very proud that we've been able to attract 44% of the 44% female students to the MBA program. In our first batch of the undergraduate program, we had nearly a 50-50 representation of males and females.
Right.
So that is one dimension of diversity. Because as you were saying, there's also religious diversity. We want to be inclusive. There is linguistic diversity. So we want to encourage people from all over India to come. And we also have, as I said, partnerships with international partners such as the École Centrale School of Engineering has a partnership with Centrale Supélec in France. And through that, you know, we've always, for the last 8 years, even before we were a university, when we were a college, engineering college, we've offered language programs.
Right.
You know, French language is something that's offered every year to our students who want to learn French.
So can you tell me a little bit about, you know, the kind of initiatives that you are taking to promote more diversity on campus, to promote more people, who aspire to be something in their life apart from, you know, excelling in academics, that they can find a home there?
So one of the things that we do, for example, in our interview process is we ask questions that go much beyond the academics. So we really are looking at well-rounded youngsters who want to do higher studies with us.
Right.
So we are looking for people who are interested in cooking, baking, dance, music. A lot of youngsters nowadays are interested in social activities. Many are involved in animal welfare. So we encourage, you know, students to join us, you know, who have these kinds of passions. And that by itself, right, builds a very diverse and very rich, you know, tapestry of interests and passions on campus.
Right. Are you an animal lover yourself?
Yeah. We have cats that we like very much, and you know, we dedicate a non-trivial sum of money every month to feeding them properly. Yeah.
Great, lovely. What exactly is this particular field, the AstroTurf, is making you feel right now? What is that one feeling that's coming to you?
It's a feeling of expansiveness, a feeling of wellness, you know, a feeling of inclusion, a feeling of meritocracy that's so important to sports, right? This value of persistence,
right?
That you know, if you keep trying, you will improve over time. Yeah, those are some of the things that I'm feeling at this time.
And Dr. Velamuri, what is your mental health right now, and how important do you peg that to be for students who come in?
I think that this is something that we as a society need to pay more attention to. Not just in India, but I think all over the world, mental health has been a taboo subject, you know. And in many families, unfortunately, it is swept under the carpet. So we actually encourage students to share their burdens with friends who are very close to them, right? It is very likely that they will not want to share their burdens with us or with their own parents, but we encourage them to share their burdens with their friends. We also have a mentorship program, a formal mentorship program, where every faculty and senior staff member mentors a group of students.
Right.
And these students can ask for one-on-one meetings with the mentor and discuss anything that is bothering them.
Right.
Be it to do with academics or be it to do with general college life.
Right.
And these mentors are trained to be good listeners and to respond, you know, in very positive ways to the concerns of the students.
Right.
And then they reach out to their colleagues to see how best we can address those concerns.
Correct.
Right? We also have a program at the university that's available to all students. It's called Your Dost. It's an anonymous, counseling service where the students can call a number from any location,
Right.
and they can share whatever is bothering them
Right.
with people who are trained to provide psychological counseling.
Great, lovely. You know, the flip side of technology is probably causing a lot of these students to get far off, get aloof. But technology is also helping a lot of institutes, universities like yours, our students to get better and excel in their life. And I've heard that you guys have an AI lab here as well. So I am going to request you to take me to that AI lab.
Sure. Let's do that. Yeah.
So where are we headed right now?
We are headed to our digital lab.
Okay.
And I want to share with you some of the cutting edge experiences that we are making available to our students. I'm here with Priyanka Sankhala.
Hi Priyanka.
Hi.
So she's the program coordinator for the MBA program. And she'll share with us a recent project, a metaverse project that our students worked on.
Right.
Hello everyone. So this is our digital lab. Our faculty here, they do various projects related to digital. So they also give our students an opportunity to have this real-time survey that the students do. The recent one was with Union Bank, and that survey was divided into two groups. One was a single student coming in and experiencing the Oculus version of the survey, and then the second group, 3 students coming in and experiencing the computer part of the survey. So basically this version, they just use the web version of Union Bank and then experience the digital bank experience, if you can see. So they come here in group and discuss about this in group, and this survey, the professors recorded the survey and then shared it with the Union Bank.
Superb. So can I request you to talk a little more about what she just said and how important that is in terms of a student's learning journey?
So as you know, currently the words metaverse, VR, virtual reality, augmented reality, these are terms that are being used quite widely, in the amongst students and amongst professionals. So we want to give our students a real experience of what metaverse is. So for example, we worked on a project with Mahindra Life Spaces. And Mahindra Life Spaces is a real estate company that sells high-end residential real estate. And so our students were able to experience, using the Oculus, what it feels like being inside an apartment that is being newly developed by Mahindra Life Spaces. So one of the things that Mahindra Life Spaces wants to do, it wants to do away with the demo apartment. When you go to a real estate site, very often you will see a demo apartment that prospective buyers are taken to and they are shown around that demo apartment. So that will no longer be necessary. In fact, prospective buyers will not even need to visit the construction site. It's actually very noisy, very dusty and so on. They will be able to experience the apartment from the comfort of their living room or from the comfort of a Mahindra Life Spaces showroom actually. So they put on the Oculus headsets, and when I tried it on, one of the most memorable experiences for me was when I walked out into the balcony and I could actually experience being on a balcony, and I could have a perfect idea of the dimensions of the balcony and the wooded space on the other side, right? And the green wooded space on the other side. So these are some of the projects that our students are working on. And so the idea is to see, how these virtual environments can actually become substitutes for the physical environment on the one hand, but then what other value-added services can be provided through the virtual environment that were not possible through the physical environment.
So Dr. Velamuri, I have been told that there is an eHub for entrepreneurs and entrepreneurial learning. We are right now at the digital lab, and probably the next place that you can take me is the eHub. So let's go there.
Yeah, we are very proud of our eHub, and it will be a delight for me to show it to you.
Sure, let's go.
Mahindra University eHub. This is our incubation center where we provide support for entrepreneurs. We incubate startups here, and those aspiring entrepreneurs who want to set up their company also receive support here.
Right. I've heard that you yourself were an entrepreneur. What is that story?
Yeah, so I worked for myself. I had my own company in Madrid in Spain for 8 years, and we provided consultancy services for international expansion and for commercial due diligence. Yeah.
And you were also a consultant for quite some time, and you were in entrepreneurship, and you told me some time back that you have actually funded some startups also. What was that journey like?
Yes, for the last 12 years, I have invested as an angel investor in multiple startups, both in China and in India. I invest through angel networks, and yeah, so I invest in startup companies.
What was that story like? Like, I'm assuming that it was long back, right? And what was the consulting world back then, and what is the difference now, and the entrepreneurial space that it was?
See, for consultants, the rules have not changed, right? So it's beneficial for a consultant to have a strong brand backing him or her, whether it's a McKinsey or a BCG, Bain, Accenture, PwC. And being a self-employed consultant was a challenge because you don't have that kind of a brand backing you. So we had to rely both on obtaining new assignments from customers, and once we got them, we were also fully occupied with delivering on those assignments. Yeah, so that hasn't changed much. I think companies have begun to appreciate more nowadays the contributions that consultants can make and the gaps that they can fill in their own knowledge. So perhaps there is a little more willingness to hire consultants today relative to 30 years ago when I started.
Right, lovely. I'm keen on exploring this place, which looks like a very colorful and innovative place. And you can tell me in the journey, how you came up with this entire idea. Can you show me this place a little bit?
Yeah. So basically, this is a university level center. It doesn't serve only the School of Management, and we provide services through the eHub to all our students in all our schools. And of course, School of Management students benefit also. And the incubation activities are not limited to Mahindra University student and alumni. So we accept business plans from entrepreneurs who are also outside the Mahindra University ecosystem. So this is a typical incubation center, an entrepreneurship center, where you have a very nice working environment for entrepreneurs. As you can see, we have seats for the incubating companies. And so we provide, on the one hand, the infrastructure. Very important, the entrepreneurs get access to all the labs that the university has, right? The chemistry lab, the mechanical engineering lab, civil engineering lab. And they also get access to our high performance computing center. I think you know that Mahindra University is one of the very few, maybe the only private university in India to have a supercomputer. We have an NVIDIA computer on our campus with 40 workstations. And so any startup that wants to dedicate itself to deep tech, would find an amazing infrastructure here. So infrastructure is one thing that we provide: excellent internet connectivity, a very pleasant working environment, access to technology experts, right? From the engineering school, entrepreneurship experts from the School of Management, legal insights from professors in the School of Law, and so on. The second thing that we provide, of course, is learning opportunities for the entrepreneurs. So currently we are conducting a boot camp for pre-incubatees. So we've selected 15 startups out of 150 applications, and we are putting them through a multi-module program where we are giving them exposure to some of the best practices in entrepreneurship. And we are getting them to think all the time about their own ventures and how to apply those learnings to their ventures. So this morning, for example, I did a workshop for them on unit economics, why unit economics are so important, and how they can apply the concepts around unit economics to their own ventures.
Right. I'll tell my camera person to look up. There's something fascinating that's here. It's a banyan tree that you guys have replicated here. Tell me the significance of this. How did this particular university came up with this idea, and how does this justify the place that you're standing in?
I suppose a banyan tree. You can find banyan trees all over India, and they have a very deep significance in that sense that they provide shelter, right? So that is the symbolism behind it, that we provide shelter and we provide nurturing for our entrepreneurs. This idea, I believe, was originally the Vice Chancellor's idea, that he wanted the banyan tree here. And I think it's very appropriate, because that's what we do here. We handhold the entrepreneurs through the early stages of the entrepreneurial journey, and until they get to the takeoff stage.
What does it take to become an entrepreneur, if I have to ask you at this point in time where we are living in?
I think all you need is passion. I think you need a passion to address an unmet need or a poorly met need in the market. Okay, and you need to be intrinsically motivated, right, to solve that problem, and not be extrinsically motivated by the monetary rewards. Because every entrepreneur will have to overcome multiple obstacles before they can stabilize their ventures. And what gives you that persistence to work through those multiple obstacles is a deep intrinsic motivation of solving that problem or addressing that unmet or poorly met need. Okay, so you really need that.
Right. We are standing right now next to a cave of creativity. I think this is one brilliant aspect of this particular place, and you need a cave sometimes to get inside and think about your idea. Probably that's why you guys have designed it. Can we go inside?
Sure.
Let's go. I think it's from here. Yeah. Wow. This does look like a cave, huh?
Yes.
So, carrying forward our discussion, Professor, tell me how this particular institute helps you in thinking like an entrepreneur.
So we have entrepreneurship modules embedded in the curriculum across the entire study journey of our students. So for example, if you're doing a 4-year BTech degree at Mahindra University, you will have exposure to entrepreneurship topics in every single year. It's not just a single elective that you take, right? So that's the first thing. We also provide, in one of our courses, we provide seed money to entrepreneurial teams. The university actually gives them cash and says, make this cash grow in 3 weeks and come back. And every team has mentors, faculty mentors. So many of the teams actually come back having made more money. So the rule is that they need to return the principal, but they can keep the profit that they've generated. So we want students to get a hands-on exposure to what it takes to ideate a new product, to sell a product, right, and add value to customers. So that is one of the things that we do here. We have, talking about creativity, we have very, very good modules on design thinking. We have modules on creative problem solving. We have modules on, of course, we have the regular modules on entrepreneurship, opportunity identification and evaluation. We have an elective on entrepreneurial finance, right? So and of course, our students can work with the engineering labs to develop their own product.
So, as important as these professors who are full-time professors in an institute, guest lecturers and guest speakers also probably become very important. So, is that a norm here in this particular university? Are you also building a catalog of such people who come in here?
Yes. So, we've had, for example, the former CEO of Mahindra Rural Finance, who came and delivered a lecture in the inaugural session. And he's going to be teaching a course on ethics and corporate governance. So imagine learning from the former CEO of such a large company, which has such an important footprint in the rural parts of India. We had, just a few days ago, we had the chief economist of Axis Bank come and talk to students about what it takes to build a career in the banking industry. I had my classmate just a couple of days back. He's a Filipino who lives in Barcelona now, but he spent 20 years in the investment banking industry in the UK with flagship names such as JP Morgan, Rothschild, SG Warburg. And he came and shared with the students what it takes to build a career in investment banking. You know, what are the different roles in investment banking for fresh MBA graduates, and how they should prepare themselves to have successful careers if they want to gain access to any of these roles.
Right. Let's walk out from this classroom, Professor Velamuri, because we are almost towards the end of me asking you questions. Let me ask you a very important question that probably a lot of students ask in their mind. How relevant is the MBA degree now, in your opinion?
So, the MBA is the most popular master's program in the world by a huge margin. Okay, and the reason it is the most popular master's degree in the world is because industry puts a value on it. Okay, so I think while there have been some criticisms of MBA programs, I think we should acknowledge that business schools have been extraordinarily responsive to industry needs, right? And they have continuously fine-tuned their curricula to make that happen. And all the accreditation bodies, such as the Association to Advance Collegiate Schools of Business in the US, or the European Foundation of Management Development that offers the EQUIS certification, or AICTE in India, all these regulatory agencies or accreditation agencies have also contributed to the relevance of the MBA degree, right? It's very relevant. It socializes students in the language of business, and when they join a company, be it a consulting company, an investment bank, or a manufacturing company, they can hit the ground running because they don't need to be trained in the language of business, in what a business does.
Correct. And with the technology evolving every single day, and we also saw the AI lab here, we also saw the kind of technological advancement you're providing to the startups, right, who are in the incubating phase. How important do you think it becomes for a B school to have these elements?
I think it's very, very important, right? Because today technology is pervasive, right? Technology is not bolted on to a business, it's actually built into a business, right? And so we believe that we have an advantage in that sense, right? So being backed by such a large group with a footprint in many different industries, having access to organizations such as Tech Mahindra, whose raison d'etre is technology. They provide technology services to the leading organizations of the world. So we have this organic connection with these organizations in the Mahindra group, and we believe that we are very strongly positioned to offer this blend of business and technology.
Right. Anything that you are very excited about as part of a university like this, the dean of a school of management, that you are very excited in the upcoming years?
I think just the multidisciplinarity, right? So this, as you know, the NEP 2020, one of the phrases that is repeated very often in the policy document is multidisciplinarity, right? So for example, I delivered an elective course to our BTech students, and they were fascinated by my course. So this ability, we've had computer science professors teach our undergraduate students. Currently, we have a professor from the French Central Supélec teaching quantitative methods to our MBA students, right? So we are able to bring together, knowledge from different schools, and very soon we'll be accessing our professors from the School of Media, because that's also very relevant to businesses, right? So all of this, I think, is very, very exciting, because until now, I was working in standalone business schools, and being part of a wider university system that way is very, very fascinating.
Superb. One last question before I let you go for this particular video. Professor Velamuri, what is the advice that you want to leave our audience with, who are primarily looking for a good B school, an option to spend their 2 years?
I think all I can say to them is that they should include us in their consideration set, right? Whatever decision they decide to make finally, whichever school they decide to join finally, I would say, look at us, come and visit us, meet our faculty, look at our facilities, look at our support infrastructure, and then make an informed choice.
Thank you very much, Professor Velamuri, for giving us time and hosting us in this particular university, and I hope that you get your desired batch, and I hope that you like the fact that we sort of helped you reminisce about your past a little bit.
Definitely. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for opening up.
InsideIIM.
We'll take a leave now.